Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Arundhati Ramnan and with me is Ritu Singh. These are the top headlines from the startup world. Digital banking platform MobiKwik has recorded profitable growth in the first quarter of the current financial year with an adjusted EBITDA of over 13 crore rupees, a 181% increase year over year. This is the second consecutive quarter when MobiKwik has registered a profitable growth.
Fixed return investment platform Stable Money has raised $5 million in seed funding round led by Matrix Partners India and Lightspeed. The firm aims to collaborate with more than 10 banks by the end of 2023 and integrate with 25 more banks and RBI regulated entities by the end of 2024.
Sources say that Paytm founder Vijay Shekhar Sharma's agreement with Antfin is probably India's biggest buy now, pay later deal with no fixed returns committed to the Chinese company. Sources claim the payment for the long committed optionally convertible debentures will run into many years.
Union government bars military drone makers from using components made in China. Reuters reports the government has concerns over security vulnerabilities. Shares of drone maker IdeaForge decline in trade ahead of its earnings.
SoftBank reports a surprise loss of over $3 billion for the third straight quarter. This even as the company's Vision Fund is back in black after posting losses for the last 5 quarters.
And Amrish Murthy, the co-founder of furniture and home goods startup Pepperfry, died of a cardiac arrest in Leh on Monday night. 51-year-old Murthy founded the company in Mumbai in 2012 along with Ashish Shah. Now, India has barred domestic manufacturers from using Chinese components in military drones, citing security concerns. Now, this is according to a Reuters report which says that the decision was taken after 2 rounds of discussion with drone developers. We spoke to Ankit Mehta, who's the CEO of drone maker IdeaForge, who said that while there was no such official notification yet, this was a welcome move, especially in relation to data security. He added the decision will not have an impact on cost or delivery. Take a look.
And financing activities from land border connected countries have been, highlighted by the government of India. So it is no surprise that, we have these policies because ultimately, our land border connected nations are also nations that we are, looking to make sure that we are maintaining our sovereignty. Components which are related to data, for particularly our own supply chain, I think we have sort of eliminated that dependency since a long while, as far as anything related to data and data security is concerned. In fact, if you think about it, even in the United States, there is a law around what is known as National Defense Authorization Act, where use of such subsystems which are pertaining to data have been banned for drones that are being used by the defense forces in the US as well. So we've been in line with that policy for a while now. So as such, there is no impact on either cost or, delivery.
On what's brewing today, student community engagement and hiring platform Unstop has raised $5 million in its maiden fund from MyNavi, a Japan-based HR tech firm, and online learning platform Coursera. Other investors like venture capitalist 9 Unicorns and Pankaj Bansal through his fund Carrot Capital also participated in the funding round. Unstop plans to use these funds for global expansion and to invest in tech. Ankit Agarwal, the founder and CEO of Unstop, is with us, and so is my colleague Ritu. Ankit, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. First up, how does Unstop work? What do you mean when you say Unstop is a playground for individuals to learn, upskill, showcase their skills, and get hired to unlock their potential throughout their academic journey? What's the pain point that you're solving for? Talk to us about what's on offer.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me on the show. A pleasure to be here. In layman terms, if you basically see Unstop, it's the largest in India community engagement and hiring platform. We are connecting the talent with the employers, and in that process, we are ensuring that we are creating a playground for both these stakeholders to do matchmaking. So we currently have about 6 million users on our platform. And if I basically talk about certain examples to give you what we are doing for the users, imagine this playground like a cricket field or a football field where cricket, any sports, football and all are nothing but disciplines. Let's say cricket is MBA, football is engineering or so, right? On day one, of your UG or PG, what essentially students want is essentially to learn new skills in that particular domain or discipline, right? And that is very, very well done through their college, through professors, through classrooms. Now, beyond that, they need platforms like Unstop to, one, practice their skills. So let's say in any sports, they will do net practice. So once we have learned it on in your college, you basically hop on to Unstop like platforms where you can actually practice those skills. Then you actually can have matches with different players, different teams to ensure that the skills that you learned are actually practiced in a real life scenario and real. So in our terms, those matches are nothing but different engagements by different corporates. So let's say if Walmart, Flipkart, Amazon are doing hackathons or case study competitions or any other engagements, they open it up for pretty much all students to engage with those employers. So now the students are engaging with those employers. They're getting a sense of what it is like to be working in those big corporates, right? And while they are engaging, they are doing certain activities which are testing them on their basic skills. That basic skill for an engineer might be a coding. For an MBA, it might be marketing or finance, right? So while they are basically moving into that direction and they basically perform in that engagement, and if they perform really well, the employers are able to give them job offers.
Ankit, I'll request you to just answer us briefly. Now we're running out of time,
Sure.
but what is the biggest challenge in finding the right talent with ever-evolving technology and whatnot? What are some of the trends that you're seeing in this area?
Yeah, so I think the key word there is the right talent. Every company is looking out for the best talent, and they cannot match aspirations of the IIM students or the IIT students. And similarly, students are also are looking out for the best employers that can actually give them that learning and growth that they want. So essentially what we are doing is that if, let's say, there is a 100 percentile talent, based on the skills, can we recommend that students to those employers which might be best suited for them? And that is the biggest problem.
All right. And you've raised $5 million. How do you plan to use the funds? Investing in tech and growing your presence is on top of mind?
Oh, yes. We are, at the end of the day, we are a tech platform. So we'll be investing that in tech and product plus marketing. Right now, our CAC is 0, but moving forward, we'll be investing in the B2C and the B2B segments.
If you could tell us about your talent community of 6 million students, how many active users are you seeing each month? How many placements are you facilitating? And what is the kind of addition you're looking to make to that list?
Sure. So if I say last month's stats itself, right now we are about 6 million users. Out of that, our monthly traffic is about 47 million. We have monthly active users of close to about 3 million that we did last month. What we basically say is that we are enabling students to be eligible for companies that generally don't come to their campus. So in last 6 months or 12 months itself, we have enabled close to 4 million students for opportunities that wouldn't have been able to access without Unstop as a platform.
All right. And where do your current revenues stand? What are the targets and what's profitability looking like?
So, I mean, last financial year, we have been profitable both at the gross as well as the net level. Our revenue numbers are close to about 3 million in last financial year, but we are looking at doubling that down in this financial year with these fundraise, and we are aiming at closing about 12 to 15 million users in this financial year.
Okay, Ankit, a quick one-line answer. Any new markets that you think you'd be looking at expanding into before we wrap up?
So these funds are primarily to double click on India, deep dive on it, and simultaneously working ourselves in the APAC region and the Africa subcontinent.
All right, Ankit, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We're completely out of time, but we wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, moving on, former head of Intel's accelerated computing systems and graphics business, Raja Koduri, who recently quit the company, has announced the launch of his new generative AI startup, Mihira AI. Now, through this new venture, he aims to democratize access to sophisticated hardware and AI tools for artists, especially in India. Shilpa Ranipeta caught up with Raja Koduri to understand more about his plans with this new venture.
Mihira AI, we want to build a platform for storytellers, right? And particularly storytellers here in India. And it's a hardware, software, and services platform. And Mihira AI will have over 200 artists by the end of the year. We are building a data center infrastructure here for them, and we also are building some very interesting software tools that enable access to this data center in very productive manner and enable storytelling and creation using all these computing resources as well.
Right. From what I've understood, the larger idea for you is to sort of democratize access to sort of that, high-tech or even difficult technology that usually these artists may. So just give me a sense on, what your focus is going to be, even when you say artists, if you can help our audience also understand exactly what areas you'll be looking at. And, when you say democratize the access, what exactly is the problem that you're trying to solve?
Right. Yeah, I think you and everybody might have heard AI is impacting every industry, right? And there's a lot of commotion around AI. There are new tools every day that say they generate images, they generate videos, they clone your voice, they do deep fakes. There are literally 200 plus tools out there that say they do stuff, right? And for an artist, it's overwhelming, okay? Right. And that's one issue. The second issue is the cost of AI, right? Cost of training models, cost of generating new images is quite high. But there is a larger problem in AI right now, right? Which is that there is silicon, there is systems and software.
Right.
The software and software plays a big role. So today there is only one company that got this entire thing right, which is NVIDIA. That's why they're a $1 trillion plus company, and they are getting the full share of profits from everybody. We need alternatives, right, particularly in India, to that ecosystem. So without solving the software and systems problem, if you just do silicon, you aren't going to do that. I've done silicon for 27 years. I know that, right? So that's why I wanted to spend time on software and systems. And Mihira, I picked a domain which I was passionate about, which is stories and all, to solve it. But some of the technologies we develop as part of Mihira will help all the other fields in AI as well, whether it is medical, there's communications, everything that everybody wants to use, ChatGPT type stuff, banks and all. So we will build some of the technologies we build will have impact on those other segments as well. But as Mihira, we needed to be focused on one domain just to build our tool chain.
Very interesting. And help me understand your presence in India. How much of your business is going to be India-based, and how large do you see India being a market for you going forward?
India will be a huge market. I think India is at a very high growth trajectory, and the art talent, the engineering talent. Mihira is a combination of art and engineering.
Right.
Where else would you go to find large pools of this talent? India. Okay, so yeah, of course, it will be very large presence in India, but we'll have offices across the globe as well. Right, I have office in Silicon Valley. I'll have an office in Singapore. We'll have several offices in India. Hyderabad, Bangalore, and, the other usual stuff. But one interesting thing I'd like to say is that because our strategy is especially for capturing some of the art talent, we will also go to small towns. For example, Mihira already has a presence in Rajahmundry, a very small town, right? We have over 150 artists sitting there, okay? That will be part of our team. So we want to enable many small towns and people from there.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. But coming up next, e-commerce logistics giant Shiprocket has enabled over 50 sellers on the ONDC platform since June. A special conversation with the company's CEO on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. E-commerce logistics giant Shiprocket has enabled over 50 sellers on the ONDC platform since June when it integrated its seller app on the open network. Co-founder and CEO Sahil Goel tells CNBC-TV18's Aishwarya Anand. The startup has even launched a WhatsApp bot for Indian SMBs. Here's a slice of that conversation.
Sahil, it's been over a month since Shiprocket integrated its seller app to the ONDC platform. Tell me, how many merchants have you onboarded to the open network till date, and what kind of revenues have these small players been able to clock till now?
So we built a beta integration about a couple of months ago, and so far have controlled the experiment to send about 50 merchants. We have brands like Bolt Audio, Nirmala, and a few other brands that we've picked in the initial pilot, and we are launching them with fewer products and doing it slowly. So the volume or the value of goods right now is not very relevant. The idea was to test the whole integration, have them go live on platforms like Pincode and Paytm. But early traction is very, very promising. We are seeing a few hundred orders, which is very promising given that it's a very light SKU footprint at the moment. But as we scale it to the rest of the platform, which we announced today, that we'll open it for pretty much any seller to come from Monday and be able to do it in a self-serve fashion, we'll start seeing a lot more traction and adoption in the coming months.
Shiprocket also enabled 5 categories on ONDC, that is beauty and personal care, fashion, electronics and appliances, health and wellness, kitchen and home. So tell me, how have these categories been performing on your platform, and what's the plan going forward?
Yeah, so those are the largest categories for us on the platform, with BPC or beauty and personal care in the first position, fashion and accessories in the second position, and the rest are broadly evenly split in 3, 4 and 5. We think it should mimic the same behavior. Again, because it's super early right now, it's hard to say how that behaves on ONDC and so on. But we think that it'll be very similar, because given we process nearly 15 million transactions a month, it's a fair assessment of where the market's at.
Now, in another development, you've also forayed into WhatsApp commerce. You've just launched your own chatbot, and you've also partnered with Sale AI. So, firstly, take us through what does this new chatbot, what does it do? How will it play out? And also, what does your synergy with Sale AI, how is it going to impact Shiprocket's business?
Sure. So, we have been powering communication messages for our merchants for over a year now, under the brand Engage, which has been our product that's been live. Nearly 8,000 merchants already use it, and we send millions of messages every month through that product. A lot of our merchants came back and asked for us to power their shopping experiences as well as give them a way to start to target their own customers through that product. So we launched something today at Shiver called Engage Plus, which actually lets you manage the whole journey from putting your catalog from, let's say, a Shopify directly onto WhatsApp, make it shoppable, use ChatGPT like AI to be able to interact with the bot. So it's built as a WhatsApp in a box, or a business in a box for WhatsApp kind of a product, which is launched today, and focus especially on the small to medium businesses who don't have the need to customize, who don't have the need to write custom workflows, who don't want to change the text and really want it going out of the box in a few minutes. The partnership with Sale.ai is to do similar things on the shopping side, but for larger brands.
All right. Now, Shiprocket X, which is your cross-border shipping product, right? They recently partnered with eBay to bring cross-border e-commerce solutions for Indian SMEs. So I want to understand from you, how many Indian sellers do you plan to, help them get a global audience, and what have been some of the challenges when it comes to cross-border e-commerce, and also take us through what are the volumes that you're clocking here currently, and what does the turnover look like?
There are two kinds of sellers, right? There are folks right now who sell on platforms like Amazon, Etsy, and eBay. And there, the value proposition is to basically help them ship it easier. Right? Today, they can either spend very little and send their goods in 25-30 days,
Correct.
which in many cases leads to poor buyer experience, or spend a lot, right, and get it there in 4 to 5 days. What's missing is this sort of premium economy product where saying, okay, well, can I get it there in 8 to 12 days at a slight markup, but it doesn't break the pocket, right? How do you do that so that it's a good average option for a typical foreign buyer, and it makes the process viable? So I think that's the product, that's the problem sort of that we attacked and went after, and the business has grown over 10x in the last 1 year. We are powering nearly 300 to 400 crores of GMV today.
Shiprocket has posted a loss of 93 crores in FY22 against a profit of 12.4 crore during FY21. What's the return to profitability looking like, and when can we expect it?
See, I think our business turned profitable in March of 2019, and we were PAT positive post that. The core shipping business continues to make a profit. It always has, right? And that continues to scale as a mature business. Since then, we've accelerated our roadmap by building, for example, Shiprocket X, right? The WhatsApp bot, and there's various other initiatives that we've launched in the market, including our warehousing product. And each of these are treated like projects which have a return, right? So you invest for 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, and you measure a return where you have to give it that time to incubate, and then either it returns or it dies, right? So the focus is on basically being able to continue the core business growth, but at the same time, make investments in all of these new initiatives. So we do not look at it like a loss.
Before we go, Amrish Murthy, the co-founder of furniture and home goods startup Pepperfry, died of a cardiac arrest in Leh on Monday night. The 51-year-old Murthy had founded the company in Mumbai in 2012 along with Ashish Shah. Here's a look at his entrepreneurial legacy.
Announced his demise on Twitter. He said, and I quote, "Extremely devastated to inform that my friend, mentor, brother, soulmate, Amrish Murthy is no more. Lost him yesterday night to a cardiac arrest at Leh. Please pray for him and for strength to his family and near ones." End of quote. An alumnus of IIT Calcutta, Murthy completed his bachelor in engineering from the Delhi College of Engineering in 1994. He forayed into the corporate world with FMCG giant Cadbury in 1996, where he spent a little over 5 years. He then worked at Prudential ICICI AMC and Levi's, and it was after this that he embarked on his own venture, Origin Resources. However, he shuttered the startup in 2005 and joined Britannia as a marketing manager. 7 months later, Murthy joined eBay India. In July 2011, Pepperfry was born as an online marketplace for home furniture and decor. The Mumbai-based startup raised its first round of capital in December 2011 from Northwest Venture Partners, which cut the firm a $5 million check. Pepperfry has raised over $240 million from a clutch of investors, including Pedalite Ventures, Goldman Sachs Investment Partners, and several others. The platform delivers to 500 cities and has 3 warehouses and over 60 experiential studios across 20 cities. Murthy is survived by his wife and his younger sister.
Amrish was my boss at eBay. And I think we got along really well, because some of these things, I think what we have in common is our values. Right? Even when we were working for someone else, we used to work like it's our own business. And therefore, we ended up spending a lot of time with each other. We are like poles apart when it comes to working and our style of working and the areas that we would focus on. But when it comes to core values, we are quite similar.
I think last 10 years has seen entrepreneurship in India resulting in businesses which are truly differentiated, which cater to customers who are Indian customers, who cater to, who have brands which satisfy requirements of Indian customers. I am, I hope, more nimble. I am, I hope, more a lot faster. And I think I understand our market really well. And all of that translates into the nature of the business that we built.
The company also mourned his demise. In a statement, Pepperfry said, "The Pepperfry family, along with its employees, investors, partners, and customers, mourn the loss of a visionary leader who played a pivotal role in shaping our journey. At this challenging time, our thoughts and prayers are with Amrish's family, friends, and loved ones." Pepperfry also assured its customers and partners that the startup remains steadfast in its commitment to deliver exceptional products and services.
That's the legacy of Amrish Murthy. But on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. Goodbye and many thanks for watching.